Hey everyone, it's Gyoza. So we're going to be talking about power creep today and how I personally agree with Mr. Pokke. I think power creep is real if you let it be. Now the first thing to say is no one's at fault. You're not a bad player. There's nothing wrong with you because you can't clear the endgame content. Power creep is real. Mr. Pokke agrees, everyone agrees. Power creep is in the game. It is a very important distinction we make that power creep is a meta discussion and not really a casual one. If you really just pull for characters you want, like if you're just a waifu or husbando collector, you can't expect to clear all the content. That really sucks, but it's just the truth. If you are a husbando or waifu collector, you can't. Casual players who log in a couple times a week, maybe once a week just for events, shouldn't really expect to be able to clear all the content, and that's the truth. Now, casual players can still have opinions. No one can take that away, but you can still be wrong. I say you can't expect to clear all the endgame while pulling for waifus and husbandos, but I think if you're smart, you actually can. Take me for example. I don't love Acheron, but I love Xiao Chou, Gwenaifen, and Adventurine. Because of that, I pulled Acheron, and now I have a good team, and I enjoy it. Not like I dislike Acheron, it's just that Xiao Chou, Gwenaifen, and Adventurine are some of my favorite characters. And I can slot Acheron into that team, and there you go. Perfect team. There is definitely someone you enjoy that is Nihility. Even the dot meta, even if you like Kafka Black Swan, you can use them with Acheron. It's not dot like maybe you want it to, but it would still work. You can still enjoy the characters you like. Knowledge is seriously the most important thing. Star Rail is a resource management game. The entire point of the game for free-to-play players is you have to spend your trailways power wisely and your pulls wisely. And here's the thing, meta isn't even as good as it seems. Everyone said to pull Robin, and I didn't pull Robin. I got her on her rerun, but you know the truth? I don't even use Robin, not even in pure fiction sometimes. Not this pure fiction, but the last one I cleared completely without Robin. Now my second team did do really poorly, but I just put it on auto and it was like a blade team. I completely skipped the follow-up meta. I didn't pull Fei Zhao. I didn't pull Acheron's Light Cone. No matter what any content creator said, I didn't pull Acheron's Light Cone. I picked Boot Hill over Firefly. Of course, we didn't know everything Firefly did at the time, but honestly, even back then, now it's different, but everyone clowned on Boot Hill back then. Everyone's like, oh, Firefly is just better. Boot Hill is just nothing compared to Firefly. I didn't even have Ron May, and I pulled Boot Hill because I just liked Boot Hill that much. And guess what? I cleared all the content. With a 1 5-star value, with a singular Boot Hill, I've been able to clear half of MOC in like 5 cycles, and you can look at all my other videos to prove it. I'm not saying I'm zero cycling. I'm not even saying I'm clearing well, but I am clearing, and that's what's important. Endgame takes time to clear. I think a lot of new players are joining the game in like the last 2 patches and like, why can't I beat MOC? This game has so much power creep. Or even people who quit playing the game and came back. They're like, why can't I beat this game? Why is my Zila bad? That's another story. Zila, they just power crept the hell out of her. No one can deny that, right? But it takes time. It took me months to originally beat MOC on my account. I did not care about MOC at all for a long time on my account. I think I started clearing it maybe like 5 or 6 months into the game. And then they added MOC 12, and that was a struggle at first. It takes time. As a free-to-play player, you can't just win with 2 characters, like 2 5-stars. You need a portfolio of characters. Now, horizontal investment is great for free-to-play players. I don't care what any content creator says. There are some Eidolons that are worth it, undeniably, but take my advice. I've been a free-to-play player, and I'm able to clear all the content like this. You need horizontal investment as a free-to-play player. You need horizontal investment early in the game. Content creators and non-free-to-play players just don't understand. Like, I was watching Gacha Smack, and I love Gacha Smack, don't get me wrong, and I love Mr. Pokke, but they're talking like, oh yeah, free-to-play players gonna get Kafka E1, I think Gacha Smack said, and like, oh, Ramme E1. And I'm just saying, if you were a free-to-play player and you did that, you're insane. If you just like the character and you're pulling for a waifu, don't pull an Eidolon. Just get the character and then maybe wait and then see if that character is good and then get an Eidolon later. And Ron May, her E1 is great. Don't get me wrong, but Ron May is just good on her own. As a free-to-play player, you should never pull something like E1 Kafka. Never, ever. Eidolons for free-to-play players should be restricted to the reruns, in my opinion. An Eidolon like Ramme's E1 would be practically worthless to a free-to-play player despite seeming good. Having more characters is just so important. An E1 Ramme is fucking useless if your only DPS is a Pitch Dark Hook the Great. She's not gonna do anything. And yeah, you know, maybe you already have Jingliu, so going for E1 Ramme is good. But like, no one in these situations that these content creators are making, no one is playing smart. Everyone is like every free-to-play player in their eyes, like the dumbest player ever. Now, I'm siding with free-to-plays here, but free-to-play players aren't smart either. Like, a lot of them. They're impatient, they barely play the game, they waste all their resources, and then they just blame the game and complain on Twitter. That's crazy to me. Now, I'm just saying, barely playing the game is fair. It's Star Rail. It's a gacha game. If you spend a lot of time on this game, you're wasting a lot of your time. But if you are someone who doesn't even read what your character does, who doesn't even read the buff of the MOC or Pure Fiction or Pokke Shadow, I don't understand how you can see that and then blame Powercreep. A good example is Box2. I love Box2. One of the most funny Star Rail streamers. I watch him all the time, but also he doesn't know what he's doing, and that's what makes him engaging and fun in my opinion. But seeing him complain about Powercreep 2 is kind of silly when he doesn't even like know what his own characters do. Not like casual players or people who don't care that much about Star Rail are wrong, or they're like they need to lock into Star Rail and waste all their time on a gacha game, but it's kind of silly to blame Powercreep in a game where you don't even give a shit enough to read what things do. Now, you might be like, oh, well, you cleared all this content, but you made good decisions. You know, you're lucky. You're a lucky free-to-play player. I'm not. I am the unlucky free-to-play guy. I am a husbando and waifu puller. I've made mistakes. I pulled Adventuring E1. I pulled Boot Hill. I pulled Blade. I pulled Blades. Like, I lost a 75-25 on Blades Light Code. I had to get to like 150 pity just to get it. I skipped Ron Mei. I skipped Fu Xuan. I skipped Jing Liu when she was meta. I skipped Robin. I skipped Fei Zhao. I skip everything, and I'm still able to clear the content. People are like, oh, if you're free to play, you have to have all this future sight. No, you don't. Look, I have Boot Hill, and he just does. My luck is horrible. Are you ready to see this? I'm in the bottom 2% of luck. The bottom 2%. 98% of players are luckier than me on pulling 5 stars, how early they get them. Here's my banner history. As you can see, pretty much all of them are like late 70s. I got a couple characters early. I got Welt early in 2023 and Zhao Cho early in 2024, and that's it. Everything else has not been early. Now, I have won and lost the same amount of 50-50s, which is fair. I think that's the most fair thing you could ever have. Now, I know there's people who lose more 50-50s than win. Sorry, but luck shows that it's equal, and even Warp Tracker says more people win 50-50s than lose. So technically, I'm in the lower percentile. And people think that free-to-play players are forced to have so much future sight. Like, oh man, you know, you have to know who's going to be meta in the future, even though you can't tell. You have to look at, you have to look at leaks and stuff, but you don't. So many of the 5 stars I pulled are completely worthless on my account now. Zila, useless. Locha, sorry, I love him, but he's useless now. Gallagher, I just like more. You know, Imbibitor isn't great anymore. Blade does nothing. Sparkle has not helped me in a long time. My account has made so many mistakes. I have had so many characters that completely fell off, and yet I'm still here clearing content. I've wasted so many 5-star pulls. You know, Zila is useless. You know, maybe people pulled for Juan. Good for them. He's great now, but like, honestly, you can still win. And you can say, oh, your account is cracked. And my account honestly isn't that cracked. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's because I invest right. I invest in the right relics. I spend the right amount of time farming relics. I spend the right amount of time farming traces. I farm the right domains. A lot of people don't realize, but substats are better than main stats, which is crazy that people still don't realize that. Like, people will look on Pride Win and be like, oh, Bronya needs a defense orb or HP orb, so I'm gonna give her that, even though they're neglecting like this electric damage orb that has the most cracked stats for Bronya. You can sacrifice so many things to get those substats you need. And yeah, your Bronya will be squishier, but that's why you pulled for a sustain, right? Relic main stats honestly don't matter. Even relic, like bonuses, like when you use all the relics, those are almost completely useless. Early game, and if you're just trying to clear content, you just need to get relics that work. And you could say, I'm the outlier, I'm free to play, I made mistakes, but I was able to come back because Boot Hill became very powerful again. Even he was always powerful, but people realized Boot Hill was powerful. Acheron was such a good pull for my account, which, yeah, but here's my friend's pulls. Now, he's gotten a lot luckier than me, but I think this is what most people's accounts look like and how lucky they are. They're not reaching late 70s pities every time. They're getting some earlys like 2, 1, 10. That's crazy lucky. I wish I could have that happen to me. But even here, my friend, he pulled for E1 Fu Xuan. That's kind of useless, but hey, they were able to bounce back from it. They skipped like 2 entire patches and they were able to come back and still be able to win. In Star Rail, all that matters, literally all that matters is resource management. And my friend here made good decisions. All this to say that power creep is real and Star Rail has it. But if you're smart, you can work around it. And if you're casual and you really care about clearing the endgame content and you want to lock in, which it's Star Rail, that's crazy, but if you want to lock in, you can work around it while still pulling who you want. Again, dot enjoyers would be like, oh no, I can't use Kafka or Black Swan, they're so bad, dot is so dead. Just use Acheron. Yeah, maybe you don't love Acheron, but you can still use Kafka and Black Swan and it'd work. You'd have your waifus there on the screen and you'd be getting all the stars you want. If your favorite character is someone like Blade, I feel so bad for you because I feel you, that's me. Blade is like one of my favorite characters and he is so bad right now. I'm hoping something changes, but who knows. Anyways, this isn't to make anyone feel bad. If you are trying to lock in to Star Rail, again, crazy, but if you are trying to clear Star Rail endgame and you're not able to, you shouldn't feel bad if you're free to play. Even if you're pay to play, again, just don't feel bad for not being able to clear content. It takes time and it takes actually learning about a gacha game. You're not able to just log on every week and clear all the content. The sad truth is Powercreep is real and you kind of have to be smart. If you play right though and you play smart, Sir Pokke is right. It's not that bad. Again, don't feel bad if you can't clear content. If you're like a casual player, don't feel bad at all. Nothing wrong with that. Have fun. Just don't worry about the end game modes. MOC 12 is really hard. It's the HP has inflated so much beyond belief. Maybe, you know, just have fun. Take your time building up characters. Maybe it's okay to not clear a couple MOCs building up for some new characters. You know, you lose what, like 60 Stellar Jades, which is bad, but for free to play, you'll be okay. Anyways, that's all I have to say on Powercreep. I'm free to play, and I think this is a very different opinion than most free to play players I've seen on YouTube. A lot of them are against Mr. Pokke just because they want to justify their bad decisions or the fact that they don't want to read and they don't want to invest into Star Rail. Again, I don't blame you. Don't invest into Star Rail. It's a gacha game. But again, don't expect to clear everything. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good one.